To borrow a line from the Frankie Goes to Hollywood hits, when two tribes go to war, a point is all you can score. But Andy Harper, a point not really what either club wants tonight.
No, it's not. Sydney FC come in unbeaten form. It's been a terrific start to the season from them. And a great opportunity tonight for the Western Sydney Wanderers. A rare week they've had with a sole focus, Simon. One opponent to look out for, and that's their arch enemy. So you can expect a buoyant Western Sydney Wanderers chasing their first win of the season against a resilient Sydney FC who will look to go unchallenged beyond today and into the next round still unbeaten. It's a great clash that we're anticipating here at Pertec.
Here's an early test for the speed of Nikolai Topor-Stanley against the jet-heeled Bernie Abini. Spooned up into the air by Ante Kovic. And how do you read the absence of Milos Dimitrovic tonight for Sydney FC, Hobbs, and how that might affect the Sky Blues? He's so important to them.
Yeah, he's been fabulous for them. And you'd much rather have him on your team than missing.
Here's Brendan Hamill, first-time ball, which is the right idea, and Nikita Rukavica just maybe appeared to be clipped there by Pej Bojic, but at home soil in January. Here's Seyi Adeleke, restored to the left full-back role and letting fly. Optimistic. In his junior career, Harps, he was an attacking midfielder. In fact, he's relatively late to the left full-back role, Adeleke, so maybe see a bit more of that as his Wanderers career progresses.
Yeah,
They've got 3 games in a week before they head off to Africa for the Club World Cup. Brisbane during the week and then Adelaide next weekend. If they can't get their season going, does Tony Popovic almost write this domestic campaign off?
Not at all. And maybe for the Premier's plate, that's going to get too far away from them. But 6th place at the moment, Simon, is on 6 points. I mean, it's 2/3 of nothing. And there are a couple of clubs in the league at the moment which are struggling. There'll be a clamour for that 6th spot, maybe 5th spot as well. And we're a long way from them.
Well, those are talking points. Whether LaRocca should... the first name in Peter Green's notebook. He's escaped. Sydney FC haven't. Down to 10 already. Not even 10 minutes played as they seek out Mark Yanko.
Ball for Sydney FC, but that's the card that's been dealt.
Or not, as the case may be, towards LaRocca.
Exactly. Nicely put.
Here's Sporanovic. He's the villain of the piece, if you're a Sydney FC fan. LaRocca finding Bridge.
That's poor from Mark Bridge. Yeah, that to
the kick. Is overrun it, the Sydney FC winger. Sydney FC can now belatedly make their change. Ryan Grant has not started an A-League game since October 2013. This essentially, Harps, is as good as a start. As we can for you. Very aggressive right from the first whistle. LaRocca spraying it out wide for hands again against Antonis, not needed. Touch is way too heavy, and we can go down to Tom Chadwick for news on Ali Abbas. Tom.
Simon, thank you. Some potentially disastrous news for Sydney FC. I've just got word from the Sydney FC team doctor that Ali Abbas, early reports indicate that he has torn his anterior.
Down the line for him is with the Kiwi. Adeleke's header straight at Bojic. Best cross from the fullback. Antonis. Ross to give chase. Topor-Stanley the favourite. That'll be a corner for Sydney FC.
Terrific pressure. A wonderful experience, and he called on all of it. The right fullback for Sydney FC. Otherwise, the Wanderers would be one clear. Beautiful move by the home team. Here they come again.
And it's Polyak running at pace. Adeleke is offside. Oh, what a clever ball from Jacopo Larocca. We've seen the two sides to his game today. There's another look at it.
That is superb from Tej Bojic.
Well, remember, the whole of the ball has to be across the line, not just part of it.
But look how he which I'm sure isn't part of the plan. Holding on and frustrating the Wanderers certainly is, but poor distribution is not part of the mantra. Heaping coals upon themselves, Sydney FC, at the moment.
Goes back shot. Adeleke. Rokovica. Larocca. It's under heavy pressure there from Janko, who's caught the Italian. A bit of a get square, perhaps, for earlier on. Got his first goal in 15 against his old club in the last derby. Not good enough, of course, for the win. We're at the midway point of the first half. It's been all Wanderers, Andy. No change on the scoreboard as yet. And as you rightly alluded to, Tony Popovic will want that to change.
He needs it to
PDQ.
change. He needs it to change. But if we had a heat map of where this game had been played over this 22 minutes,
Beanie. Sydney FC desperate to try and restore some order. Sporanovic. Topless. Sky Blues have been under heavy pressure in this first half. There's Castellin. Doesn't like to drift inside. Larocca. Clever ball again. Rukavica across the face, and there's Juric. Just stuck out a left boot but couldn't make the contact he wanted. Another chance goes begging for the red and black.
Alexa.
I suppose the longer the game goes on, that fatigue factor again. Well, I can't blame the Asian Champions League all season, but it's certainly been a factor in the opening stanza of their campaign.
Then to North Africa, and then history repeating itself. They're back off the burden, straight over to Wellington again. It seemed to me that that could have been fixed somehow. More in their favour, really. It's.
Well, didn't that happen the last time after the Champions League final? They played
They did, that's
Wellington
what
and
I'm saying.
Perth.
Wellington, Perth, yeah. Opening period of this match. Just without the goal to show for it so far.
Adeleke, Castellin, Juric. Wonderfully worked, here's Bridge. And it might fall for Juric, who scores! There's the opening goal of the derby through Tommy Juric. 2 goals in 2 home games. And the Wanderers' pressure goes back to the centre. Won by Adeleke at the back post. Forward it goes towards Juric, and it skimmed off the head of Ryle pretty quickly into the path of Bekovic. That's well done again by Gersbach, and Castellin in hot pursuit. That's a terrific tackle. Well, how big a moment is that in the context of this derby? Everybody watched with bated breath, not least Nikita Rukavica. Which side of the woodwork would it go? And Sydney saved by the post. Maybe not. Sydney FC on the counter through Bernie Abini. Don't take your eyes off this one for a second. Abini around Adeleke. Bernie Abini! What a goal! What a goal by Bernie Abini! All tied up in the derby! Unbelievable! From a Wanderers corner at one end. Bang! Well, it's the Sky Blue fans you can hear at the moment. The Pertek Stadium a little bit stunned. Here's Juric. What a counter-punch by the Sky Blues. Hamill into the box. Bridge with the attempted layoff towards Castellin. Set up again by Pod. Ball trying to steer it in behind the full-back for Castellin.
The pond.
That's perhaps the only surprise of this first half, that Peter Green has issued just one yellow card. Certainly a case for LaRocca in the early stages. FC have lost Ali Abbas early doors to what is potentially a serious knee injury. I suppose, Andy, it speaks volumes for Sky Blues' new resolve that they haven't crumbled despite losing Abbas and Dimitrijevic, of course, today, plus all that early pressure, plus the first goal.
Plus no Ognenovski, who was a key man in their great escape derby 1. Down 2-0, won at 3-2. One of the key men in that game was Ognenovski.
Dispossessed by Grant. 2 minutes of stoppage time. You almost don't want the first half to end.
I think most people would feel that way. I'd almost guarantee Graham Arnold doesn't agree with that. He can't wait to get his team into the sheds. The momentum
alongside. Let's hope we have a little bit more of the same. That was terrific first half.
Mate, even if it's only half as good, it's still not to be missed. That was blistering. Just look at the Wanderers from kick-off. Well, the normal playbook for the Western Sydney Wanderers, kick-off, start of the game or at half-time, is one pass back and then launch. And they've kept it since.
Now they launch it through Sporanovic.
Okay, but you get the drift.
I do.
That was
Tommy Juric. Now scored 4 goals in his last 6 games at this venue. It's a goal kick, despite the protests of the Wanderers faithful. This will tell us whether they've got a point.
No, that's a blunder.
Yanko, the scraps. Adeleke's sliding challenge from Yanko. Perfectly fair one.
It's brilliant defending from the front by Sydney's marquee man.
Polyak. Castellin, oh, that's really good. Very clever by Romeo Castellin. What a bat! But that for a ball as well towards Rukovic. Does well. Just squirted out towards Juric because he was off balance there, Matthew Polyak. Maybe even a suggestion of a little nibble at the ankles as well. Hamill. Sydney have got numbers in this attack. They can only pick out Adeleke from the cross from Brosk. Bridge. Getting just stretched for a moment. Off the head of Petkovic. Grant back after his injury problems, and hopefully will give Ali Abbas some comfort if he has to go through the same rehabilitation process. A nasty injury to recover from, if indeed it is an ACL for the little Iraqi international. Todis, Bojic, careered straight into Adeleke, obstruction given.
I'm not exactly sure where Adeleke was supposed to go then. He's entitled to stand his ground. And here Western Sydney Wanderers.
Yanko lurking with intent at the back post. He was unmarked, they couldn't find him. Chipped back in by Ryan Grant, nobody there for Sydney FC. Vitor Saba pacing up and down the touchline. showing its respects. Adeleke, what on earth was that from Seyi Adeleke? I'm not sure he had that in mind. Popovic alive to the danger. And could not be construed as a back
No,
pass.
referee Peter Green agreed with you. And if he did mean that as a pass, he's a brave man. Shannon Cole still not made his way onto the field. The protocol, evidently, is that the substituted player has to leave the ground at halfway. Seems as though that's something dress.
Spins up in the air off Bernie Abidi.
Brendan Hamill has stopped to sign autographs. I don't know if that's going to go down terribly well.
The Wanderers need to get Cole on, and quick. Wait for that break in play. Blues.
Yeah, and you know, understandable. I made the comment before. The Wanderers weren't going to be able to go at that pace forever. But it's a matter for them of not letting the game out of their reach in the period when they flatten, and then reassemble themselves for.
Backers trying to get involved. Ryle first for the loose ball. And again. Abidi. Scored that splendid goal in the first half. Blistering counter-attack from the Sky Blues. Punched forward by Adeleke. Knocked on by Juric, but only Ryle there.
Yeah, it's a great little hustle by Brosk and Schmelz. Adeleke remained cool, so the credit to the left fullback.
It's going to be a corner.
Terrific little burst from Sydney FC, and the result for them, the reward for them, is this corner. So pressure now on.
Shannon Cole will rue that missed chance a moment ago. And it's really tightened up second period. Sporanovic, good distribution from him. Down the line by Cole. Rukavica.
In the face of what the Wanderers have done here today, the fact that Sydney FC haven't speaks volumes, as we've said, for where they're at as a club and where Graham Arnold's brought them. But they've still got some time to survive here. And it's still within their capacity, most certainly, to steal a winner. Just hasn't let us down this evening, the Sydney derby.
Sporanovic going crossfield, looking for and finding briefly Adeleke. Tony Popovic wants a foul against his fullback, who's now in a position with Bojic on the charge. Held up momentarily by Poljak. Tony's driven back. It's a miscue from Ryle. Invites pressure here.
Go anyway close to summing up the action and drama here in Parramatta this evening. It's been brilliant stuff.
The red and black block setting down the challenge, and Sydney FC fans, I can tell you, responding in kind at the other end. This is why the derbies have been such a wonderful addition to the Hyundai League. And Petkovic had to be smart quick there, with Juric just waiting to pounce. Is there going to be late drama? Forward, three-weight in the box of the cross, which is a poor one from the youngster. Within 2 minutes plus stoppage time of retaining Sydney FC's unbeaten record this season. They would stay in fourth position on the ladder if it remains this way. Well in touch with the leaders. The Wanderers, for their parts, would... Here's Poljak. Rukavica, his pace takes it clear of Ryle, chance to win it, but his touch took him towards Janjetovic, and the goalkeeper gobbled up both the ground and the ball.
I suspect this is probably 4.
It's out to Gersbacher now, Grant to drive it, took a touch off Adeleke. Sydney FC sensing perhaps the chance to sit out there. Space is appearing. Adeleke. Janko flying into the tackle. He's really put in for his team today. Polyak on the ball. There he is again, the Austrian. Now Sydney FC on the counter. 3 attackers to 4 Wanderers defenders. It's Naumov brought down. That's going to be a card for the fullback. Free kick Sydney FC within range. Certainly for Nikola Petkovic.
Certainly. Now, what about the work of Mark Janko? What about the work of Mark Janko? The Wanderers had Sydney FC scan. Adeleke looked to release a teammate, and Janko pounced, and then Sydney FC on counter-attack. Naumov on in full cry, and Adeleke stretching to try and see the danger off, concedes the foul, picks up the yellow card.
And Sydney FC were that close. Was Kovic beaten? Or did he just let it ride? Was he that confident he had it covered?
Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Oh, it's a brilliant calculation, isn't it? Oh, he thinks it's gone.
We're into the 5th minute of stoppage time. Green has a whistle in his mouth. And that'll do. Wow. Well, what a game. A point seems scant reward, really. A derby that